reporting the pickup delays causing rat problems, maggot infestations, and sanitation concerns. That's your 104.5 The Flame News Update. I'm Lisa Stewart.
104.5.
This is a paid advertisement. It does not represent the views of WFLM ownership, management, or staff.
This is the Cleveland Gary Show on 104.5 WFLM, The Flame.
Hi, welcome to the show. I'm Cleveland Gary, your host. Beyond Sports is what we call it. And I had some problems here getting on air, so I was scrabbling here. That's never happened before. But once again, welcome to the show. We're going to have a great show this evening. We have some amazing, very talented guests on the show. Mr. Bill Houston from Louisville, Kentucky. We have Tawana Anderson, who's in Arizona, in that very hot place out there. And we have Julie Rogers. She's from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm just kidding. Baltimore, Maryland. Did I get that right? I didn't get that right. You got to turn your audio up. We can't hear your audio, Julie. All right.
I'm from Maryland, not Baltimore. DC people have a very difficult time when Baltimore is lumped in with DC. Baltimore is Baltimore, DC is DC, but
well, I'm close enough.
Close enough.
And close enough. And we have Dr. Davina Smith. She's from Virginia. Now, I don't know what the hell is in Virginia. I really don't. I know they have a college there. And I know they play some football and baseball and basketball, but that's all I know. And, just like Louisville, Kentucky, Bill has had to bring me up to date on people, cultures, the Kentucky Derby and Louisville with Virginia. I'm on that same map, baby. I'm on that same page, listeners. I have no idea. Now, if we had some callers who could call in, you guys could call in and educate me on Virginia, but we have no one to rely on but Mrs. Smith. What's in Virginia, Miss Smith? Cows, horses, motorcycles. What?
I'm only 30 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. Northern Virginia is a pretty nice area.
Okay, cool.
The DC right. Cleveland is called the DMV. That does not stand for Department of Motor
Driver.
Right. Maryland, Virginia. We are the DMV.
That's right.
So Doc and I are actually in the same area.
Yes.
Oh, is that right? That's interesting.
Yeah.
DMV. Okay. Arizona. I remember playing in the Fiesta Bowl out in Arizona. We were out there for about 7 days. And it was hot as hell out there.
Yes.
Hot. We played in the Fiesta Bowl, in which we got beat, but it was so hot. And all I could see at night was cactus and coyotes making that strange noise.
And that was in January.
That was in January, right. What's in Arizona, by the way? I mean, what's in Arizona?
Besides the Grand Canyon?
The Grand Canyon? All right.
Petrified Forest, Tucson, lots of big college town, lots of scenery, but it gets really hot here and I can drive an hour and a half and I'm in the snow in Flagstaff. So it's really a very interesting state.
And isn't it Phoenix where Waiting to Exhale?
Scottsdale.
Scottsdale, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona.
With a lot of film production here.
Yeah.
Is that where Waiting to Excel was done in Scottsdale, Arizona?
Yep.
Wow. Interesting. Well, I'm in Florida, the Sunshine State. That's where I am. Beaches, sun, getting tans, things like that. Mosquitoes, you know what I'm saying? Mosquitoes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, a lot of those. What else? A lot of rain, oranges, a lot of orange trees. We used to steal oranges off the trees. Get a lot of vitamin C. Couldn't deny us from vitamin C because we had orange trees in the grove. It's what they call it. Orange trees in the grove.
We have a lot of orange trees here too, Mr. Gary, and grapefruit trees.
Oh yeah, in Arizona. Yeah, I would imagine. Where are the apples? What do they grow in Louisville, Kentucky? Any fruits, vegetables, or just horses?
They
I
grow
can't hear you,
bourbon.
Bill.
They grow bourbon here.
Is that right?
This is the bourbon capital of the world.
Is that right? Bourbon capital of the world, huh?
Yeah, well, bourbon's
Interesting.
it's only made in Kentucky. It's a $5.6 billion global industry, and it's centered right here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Is that right? So you're winning this race. Two things: horses and bourbon. Boy, interesting. You ever rode a drunk horse?
No, yeah, I'm gonna say fortunately I've never rode a horse. Uh,
Are you
but
serious?
yeah, no,
You are
never.
kidding me, right? You've
No,
never ridden a horse,
no,
let alone a drunk horse.
right.
That wobbles when it when it
Let alone
canters.
a horse while drunk. Because Bill, I'm coming to have some bourbon and a cigar with you, my brother.
See, now you sound like you've been here before, the bourbon and the cigar. You sound like you know what's going on here.
We do bourbon and cigars in the DMV too. We just don't do the good stuff like you have in Kentucky.
Well, under that note, I want to ride on a horse with a bottle of bourbon in my hand and with a cigar in my mouth. And if you want to top it off, give me a cowboy hat too.
You
And
look
I
like a
think
guy
I'll
who would
do
wear a
all right.
cowboy hat, Cleveland.
Gotta have the hat.
You gotta have the hat.
Yeah.
Gotta have that.
You look like a
Why-
cowboy hat dude too.
Why would I look? Why me?
know,
Why didn't you say Bill?
You got
Why
this,
didn't you
this
say Bill?
rugged
Why me?
Marlboro man. I need a cowboy hat kind of thing. I'm just saying out loud. I think you could rock a cowboy hat.
Rugged Marlboro.
Yeah.
That's the cigarettes, right?
Yeah. Sans the cigarettes, but the Marlboro part, you know, the cowboy.
What
Okay,
what are
oh,
those
that's
things?
what I'm
What are those things you put over your thigh? You know, you can flip them off. What do they call those?
Your
Chaps.
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 Yeah.
So should I put the chaps on?
I think you could rock. Yeah, you know, I've seen you in a suit from the neck down. I think you could rock some chaps. I really had to structure that, ladies, the right way, to say that the right way, so I ain't getting in trouble, Davina. Okay, so in a
HR.
suit, you could rock some chaps. I'm just saying.
Well,
I
if
feel
if
like
that's
we're
the
making
case,
your Halloween costume for
Right,
you
right.
today.
hey, well, if that's the case, you might as well go down to the feet and let me put on the cowboy boots. And if you want to get a little bit more technical, put those little star things on the back of the boots. What do they call those?
Spurs.
Well, let's spur it up. Spur it up. We can do it.
I'm so not a cowboy.
My daddy's a cowboy at heart. He would really appreciate this conversation.
Is that right?
Those little star things.
Well,
My dad
Bill
has
got
it
the
all.
part. Bill got the party started when he gave us some history on the black Cowboys in the Kentucky Derby. So I just thought I'd just add a little icing on the cake and say, hey, you know, maybe I ought to just bring that back, you know. And I'll start off with putting the spurs, the cowboy boots, the hat, and a cigar. I can do that with some bourbon in my hand. What do you think, Davina?
Yeah, you should go for it.
I think I should go
I
for
do
it.
think you ought to avoid the horse riding part while you are drinking. I don't know, Bill. It's just me, but I think that's something you do. Like you have a nice ride and you finish at the club, the stable, or whatever. With you know, we could just to the back you save may be your own. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
I would definitely recommend the bourbon and the cigar after the ride.
After the ride, yeah, I think you're right. But I will say something. I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in y'all's toolbox. This is a true story. I love, you're talking about an avid horse rider. I've broken a horse before. One horse. I broke that sucker and love riding horses. But you know, but I'm older now. I don't think I would ride as stupid as I used to ride. I used to ride like stupid. You got to extend that, stupid. I used to ride stupid. I thought I was much better than John Wayne and all of them. But I can really stand behind that now because Bill said it wasn't nothing but brothers back in the Kentucky Derby. And I had somebody tell me, say, hey, why you always bring up the Kentucky Derby? You brought that up before. Leave that behind, move on. Well, it's so intriguing. I just can't help myself. So the listeners, I had a few of you asked me that question, ran into you. I just can't help myself, okay? It's just very interesting to know that we were the man back in the Kentucky Derby. That's all I'm saying. So what's on the plate for this evening? I mean, I've had a hell of a day, crazy day, and thank God I'm here. And it's just one of those days. But we got to fight this fight, and we got to win this war. And we already have. So let's just go claim it. Let's move forward. We got a lot of exciting things that we've talked about with Black Shopping Channel. And one of those things in particular is the show, the playlist, what kind of shows we're going to disseminate on this big, massive TV channel that's coming to mainstream via television, via cable, via satellite, telco, and we're going to mix in there some live streaming with Amazon, Fire TV, Roku, and all of those things above. So in that case, that means listeners, we want to bring to you some very exciting content that makes you scoot up like 2 inches like I'm doing right now. If you can see me, or those on Facebook, you can scoot up a little bit closer to the TV because it's exciting, it's invigorating. And so we're very excited about that. I'll let Tawana, she can start off. Anybody, she's been in the meetings, and Dr. Davina and Julie and Bill can always pick up on anything. So he can feel the culture. So we'll talk about some programming here. This is what we're going to bring to you on national TV, domestically and global. Go ahead, Tawana, do your thing. What kind of programming you got?
I just want to say that we are definitely going to be bringing, and so I'm a little old school. Julie, you probably understand what I'm saying. We're going to bring the flavor to BSC. It is not going to be just your typical, oh, here's what we're selling today. Oh, she's wearing what we're selling today. It ain't going to be that. We are going above and beyond with runway shows and a Soul Train spinoff.
Let me just stop you for a minute. And I like the way you said it because you're so articulate. You said it ain't gonna be. You said the right thing. I'm glad you disregarded Webster Dictionary. Now I know you're serious. Go ahead and continue, girl. Go ahead and continue.
Absolutely, because hey, we are serious, and I am looking so forward to it. We're gonna have Black authors, jewelry made by Black artists and musicians and all kinds of amazing stuff. Home decoration, cooking shows featuring the best kitchen equipment and the best cooks that we have in the country. And then Julie's gonna bring the heat with makeup and skin and hair. I want to hear you, Julie.
Bring the heat. Bring the heat.
I am so fired up because
fired up.
I even today, I'm excited about the new line that's coming that is specifically anti-aging for women of color over 50. The industry as a whole acts like because we age well, that we don't want to age better. And so WACA, which is Women of Color Anti-Aging, is coming to the Black Shopping Channel with some serums. Girls, I'm putting together some stuff I'm so excited about. I can't stand it. And as well as color matching, exact color matching. And then the real exciting one, I've got a second generation natural hair care expert whose mother started developing hair care for 4C natural hair back in the 60s. And her daughter she is the foremost expert in natural Black hair, she actually started the YouTube craze. When she started doing YouTube videos about how to care for natural hair, there wasn't 10 people on YouTube. And she is one of the pioneers. I've been in the beauty game exclusively working with skin of color and hard to match skin tones for 40 years. And this young lady is coming behind me from her mother to where she is now with double the time. So when we start talking about Black hair and mixed hair, and we start talking about melanated skin and its needs, I y'all to be ready, because we're coming with the information and the expertise to finally get this thing right. And Black Shopping Channel is going to be the hero.
Right, not just the information, but we're going to bring it to you in a very entertaining way. You're not going to get bored. You know, it's going to be so awesome. The production minds that we have in the room right now, the creativity that we're just putting on the table right now is going to translate beautifully for the audience. But most importantly, you know, it's going to get some money in some people's pockets too.
Oh my goodness, Carol.
Look, I feel like when you bring
if I had a cowbell,
you have earned the money. You have earned your living. So I plan for the beauty channel, the beauty segment of the channel, to earn its living, because it's going to be products, information, history, and news you can use. And you are not only going to
say that again. What? News you can use. You know what? Right. You ought to stop. You ought to stop.
This
news you can use. Ain't that some news you can use? Can you hear that, Davina? So, well, you know what, Davina, I know you're sitting over there with a ram in the bush, but you don't have to do that. I know you got that ram in the bush, so you can just tell us. Come on now, just let us have it.
Actually, with what Julie just said about the news, today I took my daughter and my son out to Washington, D.C. to the Black History Museum. And one of the things that really stood out was that, you know, the impact of media on African Americans' experience. And so I think that, you know, the Black Shopping Channel is not only going to make history, it's also going to help to rewrite history. You know, we have an opportunity to change the way that minorities are seen, you know, in the media. And there was an article I read, they said that 91% of African Americans can be reached by television. So this is huge, because we have an opportunity to reach the audience that we want to reach, and also to change the narrative, because there's a negative narrative associated with minorities. And we have an opportunity to show people that, no, you have African Americans that are out here building businesses, creating a legacy, changing the world. And so this is huge. I mean, this is not, like I said, not just changing history, not just making history. This is legendary. I mean, one day this may be in the Black History or a museum, you know, as one of the shows, because they have a whole section on Black media. And I think this is just history in the making. Absolutely.
Wow. And, you know, saying that, Davina, it's that's enlightening. And it's very interesting when you say change the way Blacks are viewed, because they've been so stigmatized for such a long time, until it has become frustrating. You know, deep down inside, you know who you are. You know what you feel. You know what you think about yourself. You know what you want to exude to people. You know that, and if we can be a part of enhancing that by showcasing your skills and your talent, putting you in an environment and a culture where your self-esteem just relevates, you know, to another level. You know, that's just an amazing feeling that we're going to get, being able to provide a platform for you that's second to none, where you are the, I won't say that word, I start to say it, where you are the, I won't use that S word, let me back up, I'm sorry, let me get it together here. We're on the radio here. But the bottom line, you're the bomb. How's that? Is that better? All right, you're the bomb. But yeah, the way you're viewed, and it's interesting, 91% of African American are watching television. That's amazing. I can't even elaborate on that any farther. It's just staggering, Bill.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, and it kind of piggyback on what Dr. Smith was saying. You know, what the Black Shopping Channel does is it allows us to showcase us. It allows us to showcase our business, our culture, our musicians, our artists from our perspective, right? It's normally when you see us, you know, in the media, it's always from, the majority community's view of the stories. What stories are important? What stories are they focusing on? But today we have the opportunity through the Black Shopping Channel to focus on the stories that we want to focus on, what's important, to us, to our community, to our culture. And that may not necessarily be the same stories that are important, to the majority population. So I think that is really exciting. And, I have the opportunity to work with so many new, innovative, and disruptive companies. And, having a place like the Black Shopping Channel to really get the word out about what it is that they're doing and the levels that they're doing this on, and getting this out in a positive light, I think it's just going to be outstanding for building this entire ecosystem.
We got to go to a break. Well said, Bill. We'll be right back. You are watching and listening to CG. Did I say CB? I was thinking about the CB oil stuff. Anyway, we'll be right back. Keep those dials locked.
This is the Cleveland Gary Show on 104.5 WFLM, The Flame.
Sure, people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit.
You've decided that you're not going to allow your circumstances to define you. You've decided that you're not going to allow the events, the things, the people, life determine who you become.
Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma was a true event that took place. A group of African Americans got together and created an economic system that created wealth amongst each other by circulating their dollars within their own community. They were so financially successful until they were bombed, beaten, many killed, resulting in destroying what was once known as Black Wall Street. The Black Shopping Channel is back on the street again to stay. Support the Black Shopping Channel vendors in this new fintech company that is connecting vendors to shoppers, resulting in circulating wealth back into the urban community. And hip-hop, rap, and R&B music artists are reaching the world with their music at blackshoppingchannel.com.
Have you had a problem getting approved for a mortgage, car, or personal loan? You want a home, you want a car, but your Equifax, Experian, TransUnion credit reports are not satisfactory to lenders, so you're denied credit approval. If you or anyone you know have been denied credit approval in these areas, the answer is ECRID, the new credit bureau that can validate your credit worthiness to get you approved through ECRID's lending division, even if you've had a bankruptcy, foreclosure, or collections. For more information, go to www.ecrid.com. Create your own ECRID credit report by adding your light bill, water bill, mobile phone, auto insurance, and even rental payments. All validate your credit worthiness at ECRID. Go to www.ecrid.com and sign up today. It's free. Get the keys to your new home or your new car. The Black Shopping Channel is America's first 24-hour minority TV shopping channel that aired on Dish Network in 14 million homes. Visit our website at www.blackshoppingchannel.com. If you're a small business owner and would like to sell your products on the Black Shopping Channel, go to www.blackshoppingchannel.com and sign up as a member. It's free. Upload your product, schedule live stream events, music artists, sell your music, and control your career. It's time to get in the game and start supporting our small business owners and music artists. Go to Black Shopping Channel and shop today. Black Wall Street is back at www.blackshoppingchannel.com. The Black Shopping Channel, giving back, moving forward.
104.5 The Flame. The hottest R&B hits and oldies. Bigger and better.
This is a paid advertisement. It does not represent the views of WFLM ownership, management, or staff.
This is the Cleveland Gary Show on 104.5 WFLM, The Flame.
Hi, welcome back to CG Beyond Sports. I'm Cleveland Gary, your host. Julia Rogers, Davina Smith, Twan Anderson, and Mr. Bill Houston, the most famous on the platform. Wow, interesting information, Ms. Smith. Wow, I'm still, during the break, I was just pondering over the numbers, you know, and when you add the consumer spending trend of the urban spender, it's somewhere around $1.6 trillion. And one of the goals I have is to reach out to the millennial / Gen Zers in college, the HBCUs. It's something that I'm working on. I have not consummated the process yet, but I'm working on it to get them involved and utilize, you know, their skills and abilities through the Black Shopping Channel on a nationwide basis. When you look at memorabilia, paraphernalia, you look at colleges, I went to the University of Miami. We were winning days, national champions. And that year, for 4 or 5 years, we sold more memorabilia probably than any other college in the nation. It escalates up to the next level, the NFL, NBA, NBL. It's a many times over $1 billion business. And when we talk about consumer spending, the minority dollar stays within its community only 4 hours. When you really think about that, it's really not your fault. You can't say, well, if you just start spending with each other, you know, we can recycle our dollars. When you comparatively to the Asian dollar, Caucasian dollar, 10 days in a month, that dollar circulates within that community. When you look at the effort that we exude, we're in that effort exuding mode right now as we're talking. We have listeners that can access this show all over the world via app. And we can do the very best we can. But when you have a system that has been pre-built in such a way that really blocks you from getting to the basket, really stops you from getting into the end zone, you know, puts you in a position where the fence is so far back, you cannot hit it over the wall. So now you can exude a lot of effort, but unfortunately, we have certain restraints as humans. You know, we're only capable of doing so much, you know, and when you think about the way the employer connects with the employee, you look at Fortune 500 companies, it's nobody's fault. It's a reality. You can't, you know, blame me for telling the truth or somebody else. It's a fact. You work for an employer. You're the employee. You get a check. All right. 5 days a week, you work hard, looking forward to the weekend. That check is direct deposit in your bank account. They used to give you the paper check. You'd be happy as hell going on with that check. You deposit in the bank before 4 o'clock, right? If you can get off early. But the bottom line is they direct deposit it into your bank account. Some of you have auto pay, it's paying your light bill, your water bill, your credit card bills, JCPenney's, Tommy Hilfiger sitting over there and Macy's and you know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is this, it's figured or configured is the word in such a way when you leave your house with that debit card or your checking account, you go to Walmart. Who owns Walmart? You go to Publix, Kroger, you go to the grocery store, you go buy lipstick from the mall. So that dollar starts to just eradicate right out of your hands, right out of your purse, and it goes right back into the system. It recycles the system. So your hard physical work and mental effort, it recycles, the dollar recycles back in the system within 4 hours, unknowingly to you, to the majority. You have no idea. So that 1.6 trillion is spent, but it recycles itself within a very short period of time. And you know, when you really think about people's credit report, they have to go and access payday loans and pay astronomical interest rates. They're living what is called a shortfall life. It's not their fault. They're in a position of need, which is synonymous with a position of survival to your unbeknownst, but you're feeling the pain and the effects. It is an emotional drainage to your mental psyche in every way that you can imagine. And all people want is a fair chance to raise the bar and have a better quality of life. Even the word of God says, I came to give you life more abundantly. He didn't pick out a color of people. That means his children. We're all his children. And what I'm saying to you, but there's a differentiation because there's just different races, ethnicities, colors. And when we understand this, taking like a Black Shopping Channel, having access at the top, realizing the programs that are set in motion, trickling down from HBCU, colleges, finances, the programs, whatever, you're able to reach them at one time. If you can create a platform where you can sell their products and paraphernalia, they're going to buy from their school, Howard University, FAMU, Bethune-Cookman, Shaw University, Howard. So now you're buying your own paraphernalia on a national platform where you're reaching everybody. The consumer is the key, the power. It's derivatized with setting up banks and other programs to take the money. But the consumer has the power, is an employee of the employer. So what I'm saying to you, if you can sell, when you got an exposing audience like that of 110 million households, 250 million viewers, you can generate billions of dollars. And BSC can say, okay, let's take $500 million a year and trickle it right back, recirculate that money right back in an HBCU fund that can help these students maybe pay off their debt, maybe give them a down payment on their home when they come out of college. You're recycling the wealth now. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the possibilities, and pray for us. Just, pray for us that these programs come into fruition. And even though you're going to always have crabs in the bucket in your own in your own race, whatever you want to call it. So, but this is what we can do. And also through ECRIT. That's the connection to providing ways to recycle money within the community so our kids, not only the kids, not just you little suckers, not just you little, not just the kids. I got kids too. I'm talking about us too. We got to enjoy this fruitful life as well. And I'll shut up for a minute.
Okay, if I could jump in. So when you talked about Generation Z, it's interesting because the researchers showed that they have the lowest financial IQ, financial literacy out of all of the generations. So I think that, ECRIT is an opportunity not only, to establish credit worthiness, but also to educate, that generation, to help them learn how to generate wealth. How to teach them how to invest in a publicly traded company, give them an opportunity. They say, Blacks are underrepresented in all these assets that are wealth building assets. So I think that this is an opportunity to, reach that generation. And again, by doing that, by reaching the children, you're changing generations to come, because a lot of this is generational. Generational poverty is the same as generational wealth. It's just different ends of the spectrum, right? And there was an interesting article I read. They were talking about credit repair is an actual multi-million-dollar industry. And so people are spending, millions and trillions of dollars to repair their credit. But there was actually a company that was just shut down for charging $213 million in fees to their customers in 3 years. So these are people who are already in a bad situation, and then they're going and taking their hard-earned money because somebody's telling them that they're going to change their credit report and make their credit report better. So I think that, ECRIT is a game changer, not only for, small businesses, because the number one reason that most minorities cite for having troubles in their business is financial. And they said that minorities, we normally use our own money when we go and start a business because we don't have access to these other, sources of income. And so that puts us at a disadvantage because we don't often have a great deal of money to get the business started. So I think that, again, this is not only a game changer for, small businesses, but also just a way to break that cycle of poverty.
Awesome. Davina, I tell you, that's very powerful research, very penetrating to the heart because it's factual and it's timely, and being in a position to make a drastic change by having access to millions of people puts us at an advantage. And and I'm so interested in getting this answer from you. What age, when you say, what is the pinpointed age group of Gen Z?
I believe it stops at, I think it's between ages 19 to 20 something. I'm not exactly sure. Let me.
Ages 19 to 25 is
25.
You're in the Z.
19, 25.
Because I have my 27-year-old is a Gen X and my 29-year-old is a Gen X. So kind of back in the math.
Isn't that interesting that Gen Z has the lowest IQ? You know what? I'm sorry?
No,
I hear some distortion in it. Yeah, isn't it interesting, intriguing to say the least, that Gen Z has the lowest IQ, and that's from ages 19 to 25. If we don't pay attention to why, we'll find our younger generation in much worse shape than what's happening right now today. Because if you distract them, put them on social media platforms to friend requests and go to the home screen and stroll down that thing all day and read everybody, all it is frying the brain. Come on, be real. The utilization of something is, remember, the utilization of something has everything to do with the outcome of your intellect. Remember that. I didn't read that anywhere, I made it up. So maybe we can put that in the books. The utilization of something has everything to do with the outcome of your intellectual level. It does, because it's so time consuming, and people are just sitting there scrolling down all day, looking, reading up on other people. What a knucklehead. Who does that? Do you do that, Julie? I would never find
I have an actual life. But to your point, it's just like the shock that I had when I realized that my children don't have a signature because they were not taught cursive writing in school. They reverted them and made all the kids write in longhand, saying that learning cursive was no longer a necessary thing. And when I said to them, do you know how many people lost their land, their homes, their family inheritances because all they had for a signature was an X? And all of a sudden our educational system is reverting our kids to long eliminates their signature. And my daughter said to me, Mom, we sign everything electronically anyway, so I don't really need a signature. Stopped my heart. I'm like, you have no idea what that means. And then the other thing I wanted to, the points that you were making earlier, Cleveland, about, the way that our dollars circulate out of the community, and what makes me so excited about the Black Shopping Channel is the perception that in order to find quality, we have to leave our community. I can remember saying to a white friend of mine, because I grew up in an all Black environment, and what I told my dear white friend was, truthfully, I don't want to live with you anymore, and you want to live with us. In other words, that prejudice kind of goes both ways if we're really, really honest. I said, but y'all have the best stuff. You get the best schools, the food in your grocery store is better. And here's the difference. As a people, because we have been acculturated that better things are found outside of our community, we've been separate but unequal for so long, we're willing to travel for quality. But I can tell you, the few times that I get a white customer in the course of a year, and when I say I have spent my life on the faces of Black and brown people, I mean, literally 40 years of my life has been spent that way. And every once in a while, I'll get a beautiful Caucasian customer. I'll go, hey, welcome, because I see them so seldomly. But you know what will happen? They will come into my neighborhood and receive the service from me. And there are two questions that they will ask me, having had excellent service and excellent product. One, where else can I find it? Meaning in my community. And two, when you move to my neighborhood, you have a customer. They have an expectation that quality and products are convenient and close at hand. Whereas as a culture in our community, we are accustomed to traveling to other places and other locations to find quality. So it's so exciting that finally there is an outlet, a channel, where quality products that are significant to our community are going to be found on the big stage, on the large table, where we start to discover that, wow, wait a minute, because let me tell you, I have an 85% retention rate, meaning my customers are loyal to a fault, because once they have found, this is something specifically about a Black woman, when we find quality, when we find something that works for us, we stick with it. So the only reason our dollar is circulating out has a lot to do with lack of information, not knowing where the good stuff is. We will change.
Got it. Twana?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's so funny. I was thinking of this story just about hair. As you can see, I'm natural. And so it's really not necessary for me to go anywhere to get my hair done, but I am a product of beauty school. Julie, you may not know this about me. I did Botech as a senior in high school. And that year, my senior year, I became a licensed cosmetologist. I worked for Cost Cutters for many, many years, worked my way up to owning a Cost Cutters. And so now I call myself trying to give back to the students at the beauty school, because I feel like they need to know how to deal with Black hair. And so it's both ways, like to be Black, you just feel more comfortable with someone being Black doing your hair. But I do know that we live in those neighborhoods too, Julie, where that woman came to see you and she's waiting for people to come to her neighborhood. So I kind of have that idea that it's really switched. Like, you know, I'm trying to help other people deal with Black people too. Like, we're everywhere. We're going to be everywhere. So you may as well figure out how to work with us now.
I don't care if you're purple. I just want you to get it right.
Just get it right.
Just get it right.
But if you don't practice,
if you don't practice, if you're not exposed,
you can't do it.
You know, that 4C hair, you know, underneath this is 4C hair. Make no mistake about it. But I'm sorry, my light skin, my light eyes and titles, you know, to the long blondie, to the fro, everything.
When Julie, I must say, very enlightening. But I gotta say this off the grid here. When you get going, you get going. But I just forgot all about the GPs. Thanks to you. No, but very, 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 very true. Very interesting. When you look at the IQ of the generation, as Davina said, you know, from 19 to 25 years old. And Sean Parker, one of the guys who was very instrumental in helping Mark Zucker get Facebook up and running, he has kids, and he said he regretted he ever, you know, took him to Peter Neal, to I guess I think it was Goldman Sachs or somebody, one of the big investment banks. And and you got to understand. I say, you know, even as a social media person, you know, I think the utilization is the key word. That's the key word. But people take that thing, and I mean, you got grown folks, you know, I mean, who in the world sits on any platform and just stroll and look at things, look at people? It's, first of all, it's a brain fryer. It's nothing intellectual or stimulating. Who wants to sit there and look at people anyway? I don't. You know, it's just something that's just totally, I can't wrap my mind around that kind of behavior. I just cannot. I just can't fathom it. It doesn't even resonate in my brain. What a waste of time. I can see if you're utilizing a platform, you're connecting, you know, business and expanding your horizon from an educational point of view, utilizing little fine tunes to make the business better. But all that other stuff is just unbelievable. It's like a waste. I could not even remotely think about wasting my life. And I guess so many people request to me. I got the maximum number of people on LinkedIn, that follows me. You know what I mean? It's, Bill knows the challenges we've had. It's trying to fix things with LinkedIn and how they've just, I'm at a halt. But I don't know the people, people instant messaging me. I'm not going to go there and respond to that. I don't even know you. You know what I mean? I mean, if it's nothing, stimulating and can enhance my brain, it's just a waste of time considerably. But I think it's needed, but to be used in a way to grow yourself. You got a family. People have gotten divorced. People have gotten, misguided. It's just unbelievable. You look at the positive, but no one ever talks about the negatives. And so you want to stay focused. You want to stay envisioned to do what it is you set out to do. You weren't set out to just sit there and let your brain fry. And it's just so ironic. I mean, this is not a pre-planned platform here. What what Davina said, that Gen Z, it blows my mind. That's our future. They got the lowest IQ. They have the lowest IQ, more so than baby boomers. You got older people who have slight dementia, based upon statistics, are more educationally sound and geared to run the country, and they're baby boomers than the Gen Z. So what happens 20 years, 30 years down the road? And Bill, you need to comment on that, because I think you want to comment on that, and I like your viewpoint on that matter.
Well, obviously,
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, obviously, it's frightening. When you think about this being the future, the future. Somebody spoke about not being able to write in cursive, right? So I have kids who are still in school, and like they stopped that like years ago, and as many videos and what's going on with YouTube and TikTok, and as we move to videos, are we going to stop reading? Are we going to start burning books? Like it's like, what's next? But I really quickly want to go back to something that Dr. Smith said that really kind of stood out in my mind. And that's when she was talking about having that education, but also having like a practical education with that. And I really want to compliment this whole team, for creating eGrid, for creating the Black Shopping Channel, because all the things that we are talking about can actually be put into practice by our community, with these platforms, for years and years, all my life that I can remember, coming up in the, in the 70s. People have been talking about, buy black, and it's always been hard. Partner of mine, we tried to build this directory, and now, the Black Shopping Channel is a state of the art, platform, right? Business directory for Black owned businesses. And that's huge. That is enormous. eGrid is a place where you can go and you can improve your credit score. Those people should be arrested. The people who are actually, doing that credit repair, they should be arrested for fraud and theft, and they're making tons of money when there's a solution like eGrid, and eGrid allows people to not only at this point, with the IPO, there's also the opportunity to invest in this company that is going to grow over time. And, I think sometimes it can be lost on us, what is really going on and what's happening right now, and that these platforms are being built, they're being created, they're being promoted, they're being utilized. And, that is a huge opportunity for those future generations if we can get them off YouTube. The last part was a joke.
I know, Bill. I caught that. All right, well said. We'll be right back. We'll close it out. You're watching and listening to CG Beyond Sports. Keep those dials. Keep them locked. We'll be right back.
This is the Cleveland Gary Show on 104.5 WFLM, The Flame.
Sure, people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit.
decided that you're not going to allow your circumstances to define you. You've decided that you're not going to allow the events, the things, the people, life determine who you become.
Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma was a true event that took place. A group of African Americans got together and created an economic system that created wealth amongst each other by circulating their dollars within their own community. They were so financially successful until they were bombed, beaten, many killed, resulting in destroying what was once known as Black Wall Street. The Black Shopping Channel is back on the street again to stay. Support the Black Shopping Channel vendors in this new fintech company that is connecting vendors to shoppers, resulting in circulating wealth back into the urban community. And hip hop, rap, and R&B music artists are reaching the world with their music at blackshoppingchannel.com.
Have you had a problem getting approved for a mortgage, car, or personal loan? You want a home, you want a car, but your Equifax, Experian, TransUnion credit reports are not satisfactory to lenders, so you're denied credit approval. If you or anyone you know have been denied credit approval in these areas, the answer is ECRID, the new credit bureau that can validate your credit worthiness to get you approved through ECRID's lending division, even if you've had a bankruptcy, foreclosure, or collections. For more information, go to www.ecrid.com. Create your own ECRID credit report by adding your light bill, water bill, mobile phone, auto insurance, and even rental payments. All validate your credit worthiness at ECRID. Go to www.ecrid.com and sign up today. It's free. Get the keys to your new home or your new car. The Black Shopping Channel is America's first 24-hour minority TV shopping channel that aired on Dish Network in 14 million homes. Visit our website at www.blackshoppingchannel.com. If you're a small business owner and would like to sell your products on the Black Shopping Channel, go to www.blackshoppingchannel.com and sign up as a member. It's free. Upload your product, schedule live stream events, music artists, sell your music, and control your career. It's time to get in the game and start supporting our small business owners and music artists. Go to Black Shopping Channel and shop today. Black Wall Street is back at www.blackshoppingchannel.com. The Black Shopping Channel, giving back, moving forward.
Get your praise on with the sounds of victory. 104.5 Flame.
The hottest R&B hits and oldies.
Bigger and better.
This is a paid advertisement. It does not represent the views of WFLM ownership, management, or staff.
This is the Cleveland Gary Show on 104.5 WFLM, The Flame.
Hi, welcome back to CG Beyond Sports. I'm Cleveland Gary. We have a few minutes before we have to lock the doors and go home and do whatever we do when we get there. And we have about 8 minutes, and it's been an exciting show. And man, very appreciative. I mean, amazing show we've had with Mrs. Rogers, and also Miss Smith, and Miss Anderson and Mr. Houston, and then myself in last place. They've done an amazing job. Wow, a lot of stats. Davina, I was surprised, overwhelmed, and that's still resonating in my mind with the Gen Zers having the lowest IQ. You would think it's flip-flop, inverted, that it would be the baby boomers. And I'm just shocked because this is the youth, this is the future, and it's just amazing. But it's been an amazing show. And so what's up with you all? When the dials are locked and the doors are shut, what's happening with you, Mr. Houston? Are you home? Are you headed home? Let's just get a little wild here. Let's get a little crazy and nosy. This is the nosy time.
I never leave home. I almost have to be forced out. So it's I've been working online for many years, So when we were forced to shutter in place, you know, I was ready. I've been shuttering in place for years already. So yeah, I never leave home. There's a park that's only a couple blocks away from me. So I go there and I walk. And you know, I was thinking earlier when you were saying about how hot it is, you know, in Arizona, and I'm just thinking it's pretty doggone hot here in Kentucky. It's hot and humid. You know, yesterday I get up at 6 a.m. to go for a walk, and it was smothering at 6 a.m. You know, the humidity was.
Interesting. I'm going to shift gears on you. It was hot. I got something that's going to be very hot. Can I tell you what it is? The BSC Product Runway Show. Tell us about it, Miss Anderson. It's hot, very hot.
It's a very unique way to offer what Black Shopping Channel has for our audience. We've done this before. It's an amazing show. So instead of just random models, we have models coming out with the jewelry from our jewelry designers, and they'll be modeling clothes from our fashion designers and shoes, and we'll have art on the walls. So
they're not just if I may intervene,
yes,
they're not just modeling. They have the like hip hop music. They're dancing modeling. Remember?
Yes.
It's dance modeling. It's something you've never seen before. Julie, you've seen it. It's the most amazing thing. I thank God we were able to put it together. And
everything we do is going to be like you've never seen before.
Yeah. We're not reinventing a wheel, and she has worked those dials from everything. The stage is a big T, and those models. I'm telling you, it's not your typical New York runway model show. We're bringing something. We're bringing the thunder where you can see people get down and boogie, and they're moving, they're strutting their stuff while they're modeling the products. I love it. Did you see the Product Runway Show, Julie?
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
But it was because I think we did something similar in Baltimore. It was something, all them hours, everybody was so tired. It's a wonder we remembered our names the next day, but I just remember the energy and the excitement all around, just the entire concept.
Well, Miss Rogers, we're going to get you out there on the runway, or maybe we'll get you out there. Y'all can go out there.
Here's what, look, I spent years as a professional commentator, and there's a reason why I was a commentator. It's because I can't walk. And I'm trying to tell you, I walked out my shoes. I had, you know how hard it is to walk out of an ankle strap? How did the front part of my toe come out the front of the shoe? Nobody allows me to walk. You dress me, you beat my face, you stand me still, and you let me talk, but you do not make me walk. Okay.
All right, so we can't count you in. Can we count you in, Ms. Smith?
Yeah, just listen to my voice, talk about how fabulous everybody else is.
All right, we'll move
also,
on.
before we go, shout out to my daughter. Today is her birthday. Rachel is going to be one of our
Happy birthday, Rachel.
So Rachel is 27 today. And she
made it out of the Gen Z category. Wonderful.
Yep, she is my absolute beauty and my joy. Child number 2, daughter number 2.
Awesome.
And so as soon as I hang up from y'all, that's why I'm racing off to her birthday party.
And I knew that, and I just want to thank you so much, Ms. Rogers. You are amazing, you know, from taking your busy time out to spend it with us, and we had a great time, and you're going to go.
Rachel's going to be one of the models on the Black Shopping Channel, so you will see her. Oh my God, this child. If she wasn't my kid, I'd still be like, oh my God, this child. So, but yeah, she's going to be one of the beauties featured in the skincare and makeup segment of the Shopping Channel shows.
Well, Mr. Houston will be one of, awesome. What's her name?
Rachel.
Happy birthday, Rachel. You know, if I had some notice, you never heard me sing, right? Have you ever heard
no, I haven't.
Have you ever heard me sing, Miss Anderson?
Oh yeah, I've heard you sing.
First cowboy, now this.
No, I would sing happy birthday to her. You know,
do it. Go ahead, Mr. Gary. Show them what you got.
Show me your stuff. Show me your stuff.
Well, I don't know. You know, Mr. Houston, I don't know. I'm going to tell you now, if we had some more time, I'd go ahead and do it. We only got 1 minute, so that's my excuse for
The
not
happy
doing it.
birthday song is the shortest song in history.
Yeah,
Say
you just
that.
won't
That
give up.
part.
Will you? You just won't give up, will you? Rub it in, rub it in. But we had a great time. Ms. Smith, thank you. Ms. Rogers, Ms. Anderson, Mr. Houston, we got a countdown of 1 minute. I just want to say thank y'all for coming on the show. We will talk next week. We got some interesting things that'll be happening later during the week that will, resolve itself, and we'll talk about it on the next show. We've built, what I was thinking about before we go, maybe we can have a sit down. You don't like The View? We can have, maybe we can do a show on the Black Shopping Channel. Do you think we can, make some noise and connect with our people? Maybe we can sit down and do that at the table. We don't have to call it The View. We can call it The New You, something like that. A little something. No?
Great idea. I love it.
Yep. I mean, fun.
Call it the
All right.
attitude.
The attitude.
Yeah, attitude.
All right. Thank you, listeners, for listening to CG Beyond Sports. We thank you, Facebook viewers, for watching, and we will expand and grow, and we will talk with you, all the listeners all over the United States of America. We thank God for you, and we just like to say at this time, take care of yourself, and until next time, be blessed.
This is the Cleveland Gary Show on 104.5 WFLM, The Flame. Hey, make sure you listen to the